Visit us at Eduvo. Thank you for calling Eduvo.
Let us look at nested for loop. Usually these are useful for accessing multidimensional arrays, that is two-dimensional arrays or matrices. So let me write for loop. See, commonly we write for loop, just one for loop, but now I am writing two for loops. I assign 0, I is less than 3 and I plus plus. And for integer j, assign 0, j is less than 3 and j plus plus. Now how this works? So what I'll do is, I will say cout I and j and endl. So let us understand how this works and what are the values displayed when I say cout I comma j. See, I and j are two values. Initially first I is 0, 0. 0 is less than 3, yes, enter inside. Again j is there, j assign 0, j is assigned 0. J is less than 3, yes, then print ij. So what is printed first? 0, 0. Then it will go up, j plus plus, j becomes 1. Then j is less than 3, yes, enter inside. Again print ij. What is I? Still 0 only. So it will print 0, 1. The next j plus plus, j becomes 2 and I is still 0. And 2 is less than 3. So it will enter inside and print ij, that is 0, 2. Then j plus plus, j becomes 3. Now j is not less than 3, it is equal to 3, so nothing is done. So it will come out of this for loop and still it is inside outer for loop, I plus plus. So I becomes 1. 1 is less than 3, enter inside. Initially again j loop starts, again the inner loop starts and j becomes 0. Now again j becomes 0, so it will print this, then 1, 1, then 1, 2, then 1, 3, it will not print this, this was 0. Then again I becomes 2, so 2, 0, 2, 1, 2, 2 and 2, 3 will not be printed, then this will become 3 and it will stop. So these are the values printed. So if you see this, how it has taken the values, it is just like a two-dimensional array. See 0, 1, 2 and 0, 1, 2. This location is 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 2, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 2, then 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 0, 2, 1, 2, 2, so 2, 0, 2, 1, 2, 2. In this way, nested for loop will generate the indices of two-dimensional array where I will act as a row index and j will act as a column index. So mostly two-dimensional array, or when we write any application on matrices, we use nested for loops. Practically I will show a lot of things using the nested for loops and also I'll give you some exercises. Let us see the working of nested for loop, that is for loop inside a for loop. I'll write first for loop for integer I assign 1, I am starting from 1 and I is less than or equal to 5, I plus plus. Now you know well that this loop will repeat for 5 times where I will start taking the value from 1 and up to 5 it will continue. When it becomes greater than 5 it will stop. What I'll do is I'll cout I and also after every I I'll give some space. Let us run and see what happens. It is displaying numbers from 1 through 5. Instead of I will print star and a space. Let us see what I get. I got 5 stars with spaces in between them. Now here I'll remove the cout and I'll write one more for loop just like I will use j assigned from 1 and j is less than or equal to 5, j plus plus. Now inside this loop I will say cout j and I'll give some space. Let us see what happens. See, I have loop inside a loop. So this for loop is inside outer for loop. right? So how many times it will repeat? Now inner for loop will j start from 1 to 5 and outer for loop also 1 to 5. So this inner for loop or this cout will execute for 25 times, 5 into 5 times. So this j values, I will get 25 j values. Let us run and see. Yes, 1 to 5, then again 1 to 5, then again 1 to 5, 1 to 5. So I got 5 times 1 to 5. They all are in a single line. So what I'll do is, this for loop is displaying one line. After this, I will say cout endl so that it moves into the next line. So inner for loop is for displaying one line and the outer for loop is for repeating those lines. Let us check. Yes, inner for loop is displaying 1 to 5 first time, then again next inner for loop is repeating for one more time and one more time. So it is totally repeating for 5 times. Instead of just j, I will display both I and j. So I will try to include them inside a bracket. So there's a bracket, then say I, then comma, then j, then after that closing bracket. So I am displaying both I and j with some space and they are enclosed inside brackets. Let us see how I get the result. Yes. So now you can see that these are I values. First is I value and the second is j value. So I value is 1, then j is changing from 1 to 5 in this row. Then again I value is 2 and the j is taking the values from 1 through 5. For I values as 3, j is taking the values from 1, 2, 3, 4 to 5 and same way it is repeating up to 5. So I got 5 square. So it is just like a two-dimensional array. If I take a matrix, then this is how we give the indices for the elements 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, 1, 5, then 2, 1, 2, 2, so on. I'll try to change this from 5, I will just make it as 3. So it means I want just 3 rows. Let us see what output I get. See, 1 to 5, j is taking values from 1 to 5, but I is taking only 3 values, that is 1, 2, 3. So that time I have taken square set of values, but now it is rectangular. Rows are 3 and columns are 5. So if you check here, rows are 3 and columns are 5. So it means I is for rows and j is for columns. I will debug this and show you. For this I will change this j also to 3. So I'll get just 9 values, 3 into 3, and let us run and see. For that I'll put a breakpoint on first for loop, then I will start running it. Yes, I value is 0, right? It is not yet executed. Then function 7, that is f7. I value is 1 and j value is still 0 because this has not yet executed. Then next. Now it is on cout. I'll complete this and say next. So you can see that 1, 1 is displayed here. 1, 1 is displayed and the I and j values are 1, 1. Now I will again press F7. So you can see that it is inside this inner for loop only, that is using j. This is inside this loop only. I'll be continuing with one more time. Now j has become 3. Now it will become 4. So it will come out and take endl and it has gone on to outer loop again, I. Now this time if I continue next, now you can see that the I value is 2. Yes. J was 4. Now again it will start from 1 onwards. Now you can see the value of j is 1. Yes. Now it will display 2, 1, 2, 1 and 2, 2, 2, 3. Again it has gone out and I became 3 now. So 3, 1, 3, 2, 3, 3. That's it. So this is how you can debug the program and check how the program is working. So this is very easy for understanding the program code. That's it. In the next video, we will see how to draw a few patterns. We will draw a few patterns using 2 for loops. I'll use the same code and modify it for showing patterns. Let us write programs for displaying various patterns using nested for loop. Already you have seen this code, so instead of displaying I and j values, I'll just remove this and I will say cout a star, then space, and close this one. So star and space will be displayed, and you know this cout will move to next line after every row. Let us show this. I'm getting a square pattern of 3 stars each, so I'll just increase this to 5 and let us run again. So I'm getting a square pattern of 5 by 5 stars. Now here I'll make a small change. J is starting from 1 and j is less than or equal to 5. I will say less than or equal to I. So I is initially 1, so it is repeated for, in the for loop is repeated for only one time, the next 2 times, then 3 times. So whatever the value of I is, it will repeat for that many times, not always 5 times. What pattern we get? Okay, I'm getting a triangle. There's 1 star and 2 stars in next line, then 3 stars in next line, and so on. Now instead of this, if I say 5 minus I, then let us see what happens. I am getting this triangle, but I am getting just 4, so I should write 5 minus I plus 1, so I'll be getting a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So let me change this. 5 minus I plus 1. So I got a triangle of stars, right? So I got 2 shapes you have seen. Now I'll make some changes and display this star based on condition. So just watch this one. So now it's a square. This is exactly the first one, that is square of size 5. But now here I will write if I plus j is less than 5, then display this star. Otherwise, else cout just 2 spaces. That's it. So I have made changes here. I'm not displaying star every time. I'm also displaying a space. When this condition is true, it will be showing star. Otherwise, it will be showing space. Just watch what happens. I'll change this condition, that is I plus j is greater than 5. Then display this. See, I got a right bottom side of a triangle. If I say I is less than j, then only print this one. Let us see what I'll get. I got only few stars. 1 star is less, so I will say I is less than or equal to j. Now I got a top right side of a triangle. So initially when you saw that this was from 5 to 5, so I was getting a square of 5 by 5. Now these locations are filled with spaces. These are all spaces and these are stars. So it is displaying star or spaces depending on the condition met. So in this way you can play around with these I and j values and you can get different stars, and this will help you to develop your logic. So different designs you can make using stars, or even you can use numbers. Almost all programming languages supports multi-dimensional array. So C++ also supports multi-dimensional array. We have already seen single dimension array. You can create a 2D array, 3D array depending on your requirement. Commonly we study about single dimension and 2-dimension array. So let us see how a 2-dimensional array is created and accessed. See, the method for creating a 2-dimensional array is integer a of first dimension is 3 and the second dimension is 4. Now if I create it like this, we imagine that the array like this is created with the 3 rows and 4 columns, where the name of an array is A, and this is row 0, 1, 2, and this is 0, 1, 2, 3. And when you want to access anything, like here I want to write 15, then I should say A of first row 1 and second column, so 2, assign 15. This is how we can access any location. The one fact about two-dimensional array is if I say the starting address of these 2 bytes is 300 and 301, then this is 2 and 3, 4 and 5, 6 and 7, then definitely this will be 8 and 9. See, though we are drawing it in a two-dimensional form, rectangular form, but this location is next to this location. So it means the locations are allocated contiguously side by side. So basically it will create a single dimension array of size 12, where the first 4 locations are used as first row, second 4 locations are used as second row, and these locations are used as third row, and the name of this is A. But the compiler will allow us to access this single dimension array as actually a two-dimensional array. Let me repeat the points. We can create a two-dimensional array like this by mentioning number of rows and number of columns, and the indices are like this. They start from 0 only, but in reality there will be a single dimension array created which is used as a two-dimensional array by the compiler. We don't have to worry about this, just we are finding the fact that the array is created like this. Now next let us see how to create and initialize a two-dimensional array. Suppose I want to declare an array of size 2 rows 3 columns. So this is the declaration, and along with this I can mention the values also. So 2, 5, 9, this is first row with 3 values. There are 2 rows and 3 columns, so each row can have 3 values. So it will be like this, 2 rows and 3 columns. First row values 2, 5, 9. Then the second row values are 6, 9, 15. So 6, 9, 15. This is how the array will be filled, and we can access any element with the help of 2 indices, that is row number and column number. Now other way of initializing it is I can mention A of 2, 3, and I can simply write all these values 2, 5, 9, 6, 9, 15. So this also will fill this array like same way. Even I can say A of 2, 3. I am taking same size and same name. So if I fill up only 2 values, then you know well that the rest of the values will be initialized automatically by 0. So this is how we can declare and initialize a two-dimensional array. Next, let us see how to access the elements of two-dimensional array. For accessing all the elements, basically we require nested for loop. One for loop for rows and the other for loop for columns. Let me write down the code and show you. I just want to display all these elements by traversing all the elements one by one, that is row wise. So for that I will take for integer I assign 0, I is less than 2. This is for rows, I is for rows, and I plus plus. Then inside this I will take for int j assign 0 and j is less than 3. So j is for columns and j plus plus. So you know well how these two nested for loops will take the values, that they will take the values 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 2 and so on, that is 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 2. So cout A of I comma j. So in this way all the elements will be accessed, and here I am displaying all of them. Now one more thing is I can, after every row I want to make a new line. So say cout endl after this. Now let me write it as a complete program and show you. I will declare a two-dimensional array and display all the elements from that two-dimensional array. So here is a program. I will declare integer array only. See, mostly I am taking integer type array only. Now I will display this using 2 for loops. For integer I assign 0, I is less than 2, I plus plus, and for integer j assign 0, j is less than 3 and j plus plus. Now cout, I will display all the elements one by one, A of ij. Then cout endl, we want a new line after every row. That's it. This is a piece of code for accessing all the elements of two-dimensional array and displaying them. Next, Mostly two-dimensional arrays are used for performing matrix operations on matrices like adding, subtracting or multiplying two matrices. So let us look at one simple program for adding two matrices. So first I will explain how matrices are added. If I have suppose two matrices 2, 5, 9, 7, 3, 6, this is matrix A and matrix B is 6, 3, 4, 9, 5, 2. These are the two matrices. The dimension of both these matrices are 2 cross 3 and 2 cross 3. Then we can add them if the dimensions are same, and the resultant matrix will also be 2 cross 3. How these elements are added is corresponding elements are added. That is 2 and 6. Means A of I comma j is added with B of I comma j. If I say this is 0, 1 and this is 0, 1, 2 and this is 0, 1, 0, 1, 2. So 0, 0 is added with 0, 0 and 0, 1, 5 is added with 0, 1, 3 and 9 with 4, so on. Now in this way the corresponding elements are added. We can write on the logic, a simple logic here for adding two matrices. How this addition can be done is, just we have to browse through all the elements of C matrix while being here, that is 0, 0, get the elements of A of 0 and B of 0 and add them and store the result. So we have to prepare a C matrix. So the program will be very simple. I will write on the code here for adding two matrices and displaying the result. First matrix I will take A, 2 rows, 3 columns. The second matrix B, I will take the same elements 2 and 3. Then I need one more matrix, that is C. For that also I will create a array. Now what I have to do is, I have to go through all these empty locations in C, and for each location I should get the elements added from A and B. So I can browse through all these locations by using two for loops. For integer I assign 0, I is less than 2, I plus plus. Then inside this for j assign 0, j is less than 3, j plus plus. Then I have to prepare matrix C, and for each element of C matrix I should get the element of A matrix and add it with elements of B matrix. That's it. So these two nested for loop will add all the elements of A and B and store the result in C. If I want to display C matrix, then again I should use two for loops. Integer I assign 0, I is less than 2, I plus plus. And for integer j assign 0, j is less than 3, j plus plus. And C out, C of I comma j. That's it. So this will display the resultant matrix. Addition I have shown you. Just by changing the sign we can make the program for subtraction, and multiplication will be an exercise for you. You can try that multiplication. Let us see how to declare and initialize two-dimensional array, and also how to display the elements, how to access the elements. Usually I am taking a data type as integer only, but you can take any data type. Integer will be easy for explanation purpose. So I am taking integer A, name of a two-dimensional array, and I will take the size as 2 rows, 3 columns. Here an array is created. Now this is not having any elements, just a array with garbage values. Suppose I want to initialize it, then the method for initializing it, I can initialize row wise. First row is 2, 4, 6 and second row is 3, 5, 7. So in this way I can initialize two rows one by one. This is one method. Or else even you can initialize an array like this also, 2 rows, 3 columns. I want to set the same value, so 2, 4, 6, 3, 5, 7. So this is another way. You don't have to give the brackets. Automatically it will fill all the elements one by one. I am getting a warning here that the array is not in use. A and B array are not in use. It's not an error, it is just a warning. Now I want to display the elements of array A. I will remove this array B I want to display the elements of array A. So for that I have to use nested for loop, and first outer for loop is for row I starts from 0 and I is less than 2 I plus plus. So there will be two rows, that is 0 and 1. Then inner for loop is for number of columns, and those columns are starting from 0 and j is less than 3 because the number of columns are 3. Now here I will say cout A of ij, and after every element I will give some space. So this is how I can access all the elements. So I and j will be taking the values from 0 0 to 1 comma 3, as already you have seen how nested for loop works. Let me run this program and show you what output I get. Yeah, 2 4 6 3 5 7. So both the rows are coming in a single line. After the first for loop, if I say cout and L, then after first row it will give a new line. Yeah, here is output, that is 2 4 6 and 3 5 7. So I am getting a proper output. If I remove these brackets also, it's the same thing, I'll get the same array. Yeah, 2 4 6 and 3 5 7. What happens if I don't initialize all the elements, if I initialize just 4 elements? So it's 2 4 6 3 and the remaining elements are automatically 0. I will add those elements. Now let us look at the other way of accessing a two-dimensional array using for each loop. Let us see how we can access it using for each loop. Here for each loop I am writing auto. As I said, if you don't want to involve with the data types and everything, then you can say auto a x a. Then for each auto reference of y, and that is on x. Yeah, here you can see that this A is a two-dimensional array. So for that I am taking x, this will become row, this will be for row, that is first row is 2 4 6, next row is 3 5 7, and this has to be taken as type reference. If I don't take it as reference, it's a error. So you can see that it is given error. So for using for each loop I must use reference. Let us remove this and say int and see what happens. It's an error. If I make it of type array, then also it's an error. So instead of this, if I give auto, then automatically it will take the x variable of type rows of A and y variable of type columns of x, means the elements of x. This y will take the values from x. Now cout, I am getting the final elements in y. I will display y and also I'll give some space. Let us run this and see. Yeah, I am getting all the elements. Here I did not give cout, so I missed that. So I will write down cout and L. Let us run the program and see what happens. I am getting all the elements. So I got 2 lines of output, that is 1 line for each row. Now let us see how I can read the values in this two-dimensional array using cin. So what I'll do is I will copy this loop, this is for displaying, and I will paste it. This will be displaying all the elements. So this is for displaying. Now the first nested for loops, instead of displaying, I will use it for cin y, as y will be taking each and every element in an array. So x is for rows and y is for every element. So I will not initialize this one. I will leave it empty, not initialize. So let us see whether it will read all the elements in an array or not from the keyboard. And after that I am also displaying, so I should get back the same elements. Let us run this. Yeah, here there is no prompt, I did not give any message. So let me just type the values 2 3 4, this is first row, and 5 7 9 second row, and I got the same elements 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 9. So yes, even using scene, I can read all the elements in a two-dimensional array with the help of for each loop. So this is the complete code. Now first two nested for each loop are used for reading all the elements in a two-dimensional array, and next two for loops are used for displaying all the elements of two-dimensional array. So that's it. We have seen how to declare and initialize a two-dimensional array, and also we have seen how to access the elements. In the next video, we'll see how to perform matrix operations like addition and subtraction of matrices. Let us write programs for finding addition of two matrices. So for matrices, I will take two matrices of order 2 by 3. I will directly initialize the values, that is 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. So all values I have taken same. I'll take one more array B of same dimension, because the addition and subtraction can be done only if the dimensions are same. And here I will take all the values as 1. So that will be easy for us to verify our results. Then I am taking one more array C of size same 2 by 3, and this is empty. Now for generating matrix C by adding the elements of A and B, I need nested for loop. So using nested for loop, I'll go through all the elements of C. First for loop, for I assign 0 and I is less than 2, I plus plus, and one more for loop. In here I will use J assign 0, J is less than 3, J plus plus. I'll close these loops. Here I will say C of every I and J should be assigned with A of I and J plus B of I and J. The elements of A and B at the corresponding location I, J are added, and the result is stored in C of ij. After adding these two matrices, I want to see the output. So for output, again I need two for loops. So I'll copy this and I'll paste them here. And instead of adding, I will display the elements of C matrix. C out, C of I and J, I'll give the element, and between every element I need some space, so let us give a space. And after the end of each row, I should go to the next line, that is endl. Now this for loop is for displaying a C matrix, and these for loop, nested for loops, are for adding A and B and storing the result in C. So after adding, I should get all the elements as 4, 4, 4. So let us see what is the output. Yeah, I got 4, 4, 4. That's it. If I want to make a program for subtracting two matrices, just here at this place, I should make a change as minus, and everything is same. So this should become 2, 2 for all the elements. So I get all the elements as 2. So that's it. So I have shown you addition and subtraction. So you find out how to do multiplication of two matrices, and that is a challenge for you for finding multiplication of two matrices. Yeah, here is a exercise program for calculating average of all the elements in an array. So you are supposed to take the list of elements as an input in an array, then calculate the average amount of all those elements. So this program uses an array. Here I will show you how the program should run, what should be the input and what should be the output. And a program file is given in the resource. If you face any difficulty, then you can check that program code. Yeah, here is a program for finding the average of elements from an array. I will run the program and show you. It's asking the number of elements, so I will say there are 5 elements, and the elements are 10 and 20, 30, 40 and 50. So the average of all these elements is 30. So the output is given here. So you are supposed to take the number of elements and then read all the elements, and you have to keep all these elements in an array. So the main important thing in the program is to store the elements in an array, and from the array you have to iterate through all the elements using for loop and find out sum, and then you can calculate average by dividing the sum of the elements by number of elements. So try this program. It is based on arrays, and even a program file is available as PDF. Yeah, here is an exercise program for multiplication of two matrices. So in this program you have to take a two-dimensional array for each matrix, and you have to take two matrices and multiply them. So for multiplication of matrices, you should know what is the formula for multiplying the matrices. So you should find out that formula. Here I will run the program and show you what should be the input and output of a program. And even a program file is given in the form of PDF in resource. So if you face any difficulty, you can check the program. Yeah, here I have a program for matrix multiplication. I will run the program and show you how the program should run. See, first it is asking the number of rows and columns of first matrix. I'll give the dimensions as 2 and 2, that is 2 by 2 matrix. Then the second matrix is also 2 by 2. So the first matrix elements, I'll give it as 3 and 3, that is first row, and 3 and 3, that is second row. Now for the second matrix, I will give it as 1 0 and 0 1. This is a identity matrix. If I give identity matrix, I should get the same result, that is 3 3 3 3. Yeah, I got the answer as 3 3 3 3. So this is working. And if I rerun and show you, I'll give the first matrix dimensions as 2, 3 and the second matrix dimension also 2, 3. Matrices cannot be multiplied because the number of columns of first matrix should be equal to number of rows of second matrix. If I run this, then I got an error message that columns of the first matrix not equal to rows of second matrix. So that's how the program should verify whether the matrices can be multiplied or not. So the matrices can be multiplied if the number of columns of first matrix is equal to number of rows of second matrix. And if the valid dimensions are given, then it should take the elements and multiply them. So if I am giving the elements as 2 and 2, so all elements as 2. Then for the second matrix, I'll give it as a unity identity matrix, that is 1 0 and 0 1. So I got the same matrix as a first matrix. So the answer is all 2s. So this is how your program should work, right? Take the dimensions of two matrices and take the elements and then multiply them. So here more focus is on writing nested for loops and taking two-dimensional arrays. So try this program. Already I have shown you addition and subtraction of matrices. So based on that, just you have to know what is the formula for multiplying two matrices. So find out the formula and write the program. In case of any difficulty, you can check the PDF file.